I'm Leila, and this is a 30-minute vinyasa flow. It'll be quite a gentle flow with the intention of grounding and becoming centered. And we'll explore that through the yoga postures and with our breath. I will give options throughout, so you can take the first option, which would be most accessible, or a second option that might be a little bit more challenging. Please don't push into any pain, just respect what's going on in your body and continue to breathe throughout. I'll give you prompts for that. Okay, so I suggest here raising your hips if you have a cushion or a block, and cross your shins in Sukhasana. Let the knees drop out to the side. Relax your shoulders, reach up through the crown of the head so the spine is long. With the lips gently closed, just begin to breathe in and out through the nose. Feeling the chest expand on the inhale and fall on the exhale. Letting your attention settle on the breath. When we observe our breath, we may find that we become more centered and present. We'll start to breathe more deeply, so relax the belly, and as you breathe in through the nose, allow the belly to balloon outwards. And exhale through the nose, feel the belly deflate. As you breathe in, you can bring in a silent count of 2 or 3. And exhale to an equal or slightly longer count. It's just going to your own capacity here. When you inhale fully, without strain, feel the chest expand, the belly balloon out. And exhale fully through the nose. Feel the lungs deflate and the navel moves back towards the spine. And you might find that with each exhale, you can get a sense of being anchored down to the earth. Using our breath to connect us and to help to center us. And this is a useful tool you can do by yourselves, either seated like so, or in a chair, or even lying down with the hands on the belly, or hands by your side. We'll slowly open the eyes. Okay. So I'll be moving myself around the mat a little so you can see me. If you need to uncross your legs, shake them out and then bring the other shin in front, do so. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms away, round the back, chin towards the chest. Feel the space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, float your arms down. Interlace the hands behind you, open your chest. Inhale. And exhale, rounding your back, chin towards your chest. Inhale, lift the arms, drop your shoulders. Exhale, float the hands down. Once more, interlace, open the chest as you inhale. And exhale to release. Coming off your props, if you were on one, round onto all fours. So you have your hands underneath the shoulders. Shoulders are stacked over the wrist. Fingers are spread. Hips over the knees, knees hip distance apart in our tabletop position. Just lightly pressing the chest away from the mat, so spreading the shoulder blades apart without locking the elbows. There's a little micro bend there in the elbows. navel lifts back towards the spine. Moving through a cat-cow, inhale to bring the shoulders down, arch the back. Exhale to round, chin towards your chest. Inhale, shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale, get some height in the mid-back. So continue here, rippling through the spine. And this is another simple exercise you can do by yourselves. After your next exhale, come back to a neutral table position. Keep your right hand where it is. Inhale, reach your left arm up as we take a twist. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up, gaze up. Exhale, hand down. Taking a C-shaped curve in the spine, same side shoulder and hip move towards each other. And looking back like a puppy dog looking at his tail. Then switch sides, other shoulder to hip, towards each other, looking back. And just do this a couple of times, finding this curve in the spine. And come back to table. Take the weight off the wrists, push back seat to heels, either with the knees together or big toes touching, knees apart. Bow the head down, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and this is your child's pose, a resting pose. You can come to this at any point in the class when you need to take a break. You can also bring your hands under your forehead or forehead to the mat when you're resting. Now come back onto all fours, move your knees a little behind the hip line. I'm going to do what I call a mini vinyasa. So come forward with your chest, bend your elbows and hug them in by your rib cage, and lower down on your exhale, chin, chest, belly to the mat. Tops of the feet press down, low cobra, lift the palms. Exhale, hands down, push back seat to heels. Take another breath here. On an inhale, come forward to your tabletop. Travel forward, bend the elbows, exhale, lower down. Interlace your hands behind you. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release. Hands outside of the ribs, push back seat to heels. Inhale, shoulders over your wrists. Travel forward, exhale, bend your elbows, lower down. This time coming to a low sphinx. Slide your forearms to the mat. Bring your elbows a few inches ahead of the shoulder line, but elbows are shoulder distance apart. Ground down to your forearms, draw your shoulders down away from the ears. Broaden across the collarbones. And start to make little semicircles with the chin, running across from one side to the other, releasing any tension in the neck and across the shoulders. Come back to center, lower the chest down, bring the hands outside the rib cage, push back seat to heels. Come to table. So we have the knees behind the hip line, tuck your toes, push back seat to heels with your toes tucked. So it's a less comfortable version of child's pose. Grip down to your finger pads, but draw your shoulders again down away from your ears, lift your knees off the mat and hover. So I'm going to slowly come to a downward facing dog, but keeping the knees bent. Begin to lift your hips, lengthen your spine, look between your feet, get your spine really long and hips really high, and then begin to pedal your feet, lifting one heel up and the other heel down. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the heels, and then exhale, maybe lower both heels towards the mat, but tight hamstrings, keep a bend in your knees. So we're working more on a long spine than dead straight legs. If you have Ujjayi breath in your practice, you can begin to slightly squeeze the back of the throat so you get an audible sound to your breath. From here, walk your feet towards your hands, bend your knees as you go. When you arrive, we're taking a ragdoll position. Have your feet at least hip distance apart. Spread the toes, bend the knees deeply. So chest paws over thighs, back of the hands to the floor. Now let's come back to this idea of grounding and connectedness. So rooting down through the feet, the legs are strong and supporting us. But the upper body is loose as we sway from one side to the other, brushing the fingers in a semicircle. Come to center, press down to the feet, open the arms out, palms face this way. Inhale, open the arms, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, arms by your side. Come to Tadasana at the top of your mat, feet stacked under hips, spread your toes, ground down from the big toe, little toe centre of the heel, and align the outside edges of your feet with the edges of the mat. Reach up through the crown of your head, connect to a steady inhale and exhale, moving through a variation of sun salutations. Inhale, open the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, slight bend in your knees. Take a forward fold, forehead towards the shins. Hands, maybe they reach the shins or ankles or touch the mat. Lifting halfway, press the palms to the shins. Inhale, in an L shape. Exhale, fold, hands outside your feet, bend your knees to get there. Inhale, step back to plank. Now if this is too strong, you can drop your knees. Otherwise, push back through your heels, press the chest away from the mat, hold the navel in towards the spine, breathe. On an exhale, knees to the mat, come forward, exhale to lower. Untuck the toes. Inhale, this time palms stay down as we lift to cobra. Exhale, push back, seat to heels. Keep breathing as we lift the hips to that mountain shape. Downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward, aim it between your hands. Exhale, drop your left knee down. If it's got halfway, shuffle it forward so the knee is over the ankle. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, low lunge. Keep the belly lifting away from the front thigh. Bring your left hand down. If you do have a block, you can place that under your hand. If not, just reaching for the mat, turning to the right. Breathing in here. And exhale, option to lift the back knee off the mat. Lower the top hand and the back knee. If you need that extra padding for the bottom knee, you can fold over the mat or grab a blanket under the knee if needed. Come onto your right heel, lengthening this right leg, reaching for the floor, or if you have blocks outside of the shin, inhale, crown of the head forward, spine lengthens. Exhale, either stay here or flexing forward so the belly comes in the direction of the thigh. But this might feel very tight in the hamstring, so you can keep the chest up or bend that knee more if needed. Right foot down, we're stepping forward with the left foot. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, chest towards thighs. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, lift the chest and arms. Exhale, swan dive back down, flexing forward, keeping a slight bend in your knees. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the mat, so bend your knees to get there. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, either repeat knees, chin, chest, or bend the elbows and lower in chaturanga, push back through the heels, hover. Inhale, either to cobra or upward facing dog with the knees, thighs lifted. Exhale to downward facing dog. The knees can help you lift the hips. Breathing here. Inhale, bring your left foot forward. Exhale, right knee down. Shuffle that heel under the knee. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, stay in your low lunge. So working perhaps into tight hip flexors, breathing into the tight spaces. Right hand to the mat or to your block, turning to the left. Inhale. Exhale, option to lift your right knee. Lower the top hand and the back knee, coming to that half Hanuman pose, hips rock back, left toes lift up, at least a little bend in the front knee, more if needed. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, option to fold the belly towards the thigh. Breathing here. Adapt as you need to, so maybe bend the knee more or lift the chest more. Left foot down, inhale, step forward. Lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, open the arms. Stand up. Exhale to Tadasana. Check your feet stacked under the hips. Connect to your breath. Coming to chair pose. Bend the knees deeply. Sit back, weight in your heels. Inhale. Exhale. Sit back. Knees are behind the toe line. Lift the navel towards the spine. Hug the shoulders down away from the ears. On an exhale, hook your thumbs. Take a forward fold. Coming back up through chair, bend the knees. Inhale. And exhale. Okay. Keep your right foot grounded. Step your left foot back. We're coming into a high lunge. So find that connection steady and stable with the back foot. Front knee bends over the ankle. Lift the arms. You can bend that back knee, that helps keep your spine upright, or begin to push back through the heel. Good. Bring the hands through center. It's going to move into warrior 3, balancing on the right foot. Ground into your right big toe, step the back foot in. Lift the foot, maybe just a few inches. So imagining a balancing stick, keeping your gaze fixed on a still point. Maybe lifting the back leg and lowering the chest. Make sure you're breathing. And coming up to stand, arms by your side. Left foot grounded, step your right foot back, find the floor. Coming into your high lunge. Breathing here. Again, you can bend that back knee or work more into the hip flexors, pushing back through the heel. Hands through center. Make sure the toes of the left foot are spread. Ground to the left big toe, step in, float the leg up. We're keeping a micro bend in the standing leg. Navel is lifting towards the spine. You choose how far you go, so this might be plenty. Keep your eyes still and breathe. And coming up to stand, back to Tadasana. Connecting to your breath. Right foot stays at the top of the mat. We're stepping back for warrior 2, so left foot steps back, left toes turn in, heel to inner archer line. Turn your shoulders to face this way, reach through the fingers, inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee so it stacks over your ankle. When you look down, you can see the big toe. And evenly pressing to the back foot and to the front foot. So we're stable and grounded. Drop your back hand, flip your top palm. Reversing the warrior. Inhale, lift. Exhale, gently arch back. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to side angle. Forearm to thigh. Top arm reaches up. Once more, we'll inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, reverse. Option to bring your back hand round to the inner thigh. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to Parsvakonasana. Option, and this is going quite deep, to bring the bottom hand inside of the foot and top arm sweeps overhead, palm facing down. Inhale to lift up, straighten that leg. Exhale, arms down. Turning both toes in. I'm going to take a wide angle forward fold. Hook your thumbs or interlace your fingers behind you. We'll inhale, open your chest. Exhale, with a slight bend in your knees, fold halfway. So chest is facing the mat and arms are reaching up. Ground down into your big toes. Inhale. Exhale, continue to fold as an option. Crown of the head in the direction of the mat. Maybe the arms reach up and over. Keeping that stability through the feet. Then slightly bending the knees. Inhale, draw the chest up. Exhale to release. Turn your left toes to face back. Setting up for Virabhadrasana on the left side. Warrior 2. Reach with the fingers. Inhale. Exhale. Bend to your left knee. Check you can see the big toe if you were to gaze down. Pressing into that back foot. And breathing into the expansion in the chest. Reversing the warrior. Flip your top palm. Inhale. Lift your chest. Exhale, gently arch back. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, side angle. Left forearm to thigh, top arm reaches up. Once more, inhale to lift. Flip the palm. Exhale, reverse. Option to bring the back hand behind you to the inner thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back to side angle. Either stay here or that deeper version, hand inside the foot, sweeping the arm overhead. Breathe. Lifting up, inhale. Straighten that leg, exhale. Hit. Okay, so we're keeping the legs wide, but turn the toes out. I'm going to take a wide leg squat, cactus arms. We'll try to, when we bend the knees, direct them over the second toe. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, lower the tailbone towards the earth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to squat. Once more, inhale. And exhale to squat. Inhale. Exhale, arms by your side. Heel toe the feet in a little more, so the heels are a bit wider than hip distance apart, toes pointing out. This is challenging. We're going to try and come into a yogic squat. I suggest we lift the heels, bend the knees, and start to lower your tailbone towards the earth. Now, some of you might bring your heels to the mat and continue to squat. Others might find you need to lift the heels. If this is getting too much, just come to sit. Otherwise, bring your elbows inside the knees, pressing the knees apart, thumbs by the sternum. And help yourself down to sit, setting up for boat pose. Knees bent, feet together. Hold under your thighs, either lift one foot or both. Lengthen the spine, keep your sternum lifted. Option to straighten the legs. Maybe release the arms, or release the arms with the knees bent. Gaze over the feet and breathe here. If you start to round in the back, give yourself that little lift. Okay, we're coming down onto our backs. First option, bring your feet down to the mat and help yourselves down with your arms. Second option, we'll start to come through in a low boat, but when you need to, use your hands and forearms. Otherwise, keep the arms and the legs up. Keep breathing as you lower until the shoulders, feet, head touch down. Take a few breaths here so the whole body is connected to the earth. Setting up for a bridge. Bend the knees, bring the heels in towards the seat, but have your hands outside of your hips. Grounding down to your heels and to your big toes. Inhale, float the hips up and your arms overhead. Exhale, lower the hips and the arms. Once more, inhale, float the hips up, arms overhead. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Pressing down to your heels. Exhale to float down. Bring your arms out in a T shape with the palms up. We'll inhale, coming into a twist. Exhale, both knees to the right. Turn your chin to the left. Option to bring your right heel to rest outside of the top knee or thigh. If that's too intense, just both feet to the mat. Both shoulders stay connected to the earth. Release that top foot. Inhale to center. Exhale, both knees to the left, chin to the right. Option to bring your left heel outside of the top knee. Breathing into your supine twist. Taking the foot off the knee. Inhale to center. Exhale, hug your knees towards your chest. Maybe bring your forehead in towards your knees so you're in a little ball. And then bring the shoulders back of the head to the mat. Holding the knees together, draw large circles with the kneecaps. And then change the direction. Massaging the lower back to the mat. Come to center, feet down. We'll set up for Shavasana. So you can stretch out the legs with the feet a bit wider than hip distance apart, toes flopping out to the side. But if that pulls in your lower back or doesn't feel comfortable, keep your knees bent, turn your toes in and let your knees touch in the center. And then you should feel the lower back imprint more to the mat. Arms a few inches away from the torso, palms turned up, fingers slightly curled. Back of the neck long. Keeping the eyes closed here, relax the muscles in the face, around the eyes, across the forehead, nose, around the mouth. Sometimes we don't realise how much tension we're holding in the face, so we'll consciously relax those muscles, loosen the jaw. Let all the weight fall off the shoulders, arms relaxed, wrists, fingers relaxed. The chest and belly just rise and fall with the breath, without control. Hips grounded, thighs, knees, ankles, feet, all fully relaxed. Giving yourselves this time to fully let go, but feeling you're supported by the earth. you wish to stay in Shavasana for longer, please do. If you're ready to awaken, begin to make little movements in the fingers and toes, turning the head, and dropping your knees over to the side, curling up in a little ball, using your hands then to push up to a comfortable seat. And if you want to grab your cushion or your block to lift your hips and into an easy seated pose, or place the back of the hands on the knees, reaching up through the crown of the head. Just bring your awareness back to the breath, observing the inhale and the exhale. And this tool of observing the breath can help us when the mind gets really busy and overloaded. Just by observing our breath, we may find that we become more centered, grounded, and present. And knowing that you have the tools from your yoga practice to help you in your daily lives. Close the practice with the hands together in a Namaskar mudra, thumbs by the sternum. Thanking you all for joining the class, sharing your energy and your presence, even if it's virtually. Namaste.